And just how gay will this episode get? Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we're here with my blind reaction to episode 3 of season 3 of Free, aka Dive to the Future. So, last time we got a lot of gay, and it was not really subtle. It was pretty blatant with it too. Like, the only thing that wasn't done was them directly saying, like, the words, I'm gay, pretty much. It was not really hiding it. And for a series like this, that's kind of surprising because it does keep it more subtle most of the time. But for some reason, with this new character, it's just not. Ikia, I think his name is. I mean, it's very blatant this other dude is, let's be honest, his boyfriend. And it's very blatant that he had a massive crush on Haru. So, it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. But, I unfortunately did get spoiled on this episode by the last one, because as you may remember, it just kind of went into the preview for the next episode without any warning. I hate it when anime do that. And so, I do know that this episode is going to at least partially focus on Ren. Or Rin. I keep messing his name up. Like, I think his name is the one I get messed up on the most. I think it's Rin, actually. Or Reen, however you want to pronounce it. But, yeah, R-I-N, I believe. I hope. But yeah, we're going to go to a focus on him now. So, there's that. The problem is, this is stretching things a little thin. And it's really starting to concern me because we have Rin in Australia, we have the Iwatobi Swim Club, we have the stuff with Haru and Makoto and I guess Ikia now. It's like there's just so many plot points going on at once. It's hard to keep them all on track and keep them all going with consistency. And I know it's only episode 3, but I already feel like it's keeping focus on certain things more than others, and it doesn't feel very balanced. Like, I understand that you can't, like, focus on everything at once, and that you have to, like, cut back and forth here and there. A lot of shows do that. One Piece does it quite a bit because there's a lot of characters to keep track of. But the way One Piece does it feels more balanced out. And I think that might just be due to Oda's storytelling, but it feels like, okay, we're focusing on these guys, and we'll cut away for a little bit to focus on the next group. And then we'll cut back, maybe cut away again to focus on another group. And it's like, it feels like it's balancing it out rather than just like, oh, we're going to put all of our focus into this one group, and everything else is just going to be like, oh, we might mention it here and there. That's more of what it feels like with this season of Free. And that's really disappointing because previous seasons haven't had this issue. But this issue kind of stems it stems from what this season basically ends up being. Because of the fact that Makoto and Haru are going off to college, it splits up the party much more. Rin has gone to Australia. It's like we have, and technically we also have to take into account Samesika as well. That basically adds in a fourth focus that we have to keep track of. And you know that one's going to get the least attention. So it's just like, it just feels like they're trying to do too much. And I don't think the focuses are where they should be. Like I talked about in the first couple episodes, I still think that we should be centering around the club. not Haru and Makoto. I know that might be an unpopular opinion. I don't care. Like, I feel like this series should focus on the club first and foremost. But instead, that's the least focused so far, except maybe Samazuka. I guess you could just say the swim clubs in general are the least focused. Instead, they're focusing mostly on the Haru and Makoto stuff, which should be the least focused on, in my opinion. So it's just. It's like it's reversed on what I feel it should be. And mind you, like I've said, and I'll continue to say, this is all subjective opinion. This is just how I am seeing it based on my viewing experience and where I thought it was going, because it seemed to be setting up for that. And obviously the plot points will all converge at like the different the swim meets and everything, and the various competitions. But still, it's like I'm much more interested in following the Iwatobi Swim Club than I am in Haru and Makoto trying to make up with their gay former friend. Which is surprising. You would think I would be more into that because gay. But it's not as interesting. And honestly, again, it feels like it just like redirects the entire focus of this entire series. And I feel like it should have stuck to the swim club, with the focus now being specifically on Rei and Nagisa, with Makoto and Haru being more of the most minor storyline, and probably not even seeing them most of the time. I think it would actually add a lot more if, like, oh, they suddenly, we haven't seen them for a few episodes, but we're having like this swim competition, and they're here. It's been a bit, but they're back, and it's great to see them again. We can see them interact with the club members and everything during this time, instead of like having it all be about them. And it's like, so we're waiting instead on actually getting to see the swim clubs, the ones that we should be focused on. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't work. Again, it might be an unpopular opinion. I might be in the minority here, but I can only go based on my feelings. I can only judge this based on my experience viewing it. I really hope this picks up, at least. Because if it at least picks up well enough, I can live with that. But I'm genuinely having some troubles with this right now. And it's like, you never want to, like, stop watching a show multiple seasons in like this. But it's like, if I'm not enjoying it, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it never comes to that point. Hopefully it proves me wrong and it does start to pick up a lot. That would be the best case scenario. But we shall see. Like I said, I can't predict anything here. And even if I don't end up liking this final season, I still have fond memories of the first two, so that won't change. And hey, it wouldn't be the first time that a show has disappointed me with a later season of it. I mean, Star Versus, anyone? Ugh. Or Steven Universe, or I guess Vox Machina too. It's like there's quite a few shows that have like gone in directions I just did not like. But again, hopefully this proves me wrong. Like I said, we've only done 2 episodes so far. We're not technically even 3 episodes in until we finish this reaction. So I guess maybe we should just do that. Just actually stop being procrastinating. Stop being procrastinating. Stop being a procrastinator, and actually get this damn show on the road. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then it fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts. Excuse me. And will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, yeah. I think this episode kind of showcases a lot of my issues with the fact that we kind of have, like, all these different plot lines going on at once. Because it's like, suddenly we're focusing almost the entire episode on Reen, but we have a little bit of focus on the Haru Makoto stuff with, trying to get back in touch with Ikia and all. And it's just, it felt off in terms of its focus. Like, we've gotten nothing here from the Toby Club except that one, 10 seconds of Go and the other girl speaking. And that was only because she was brought up in regards to the Muscle magazine. Like, that's it. And we got, nothing of Samesika. And it's just, it feels like since there's only 12 episodes, they're not going to be able to properly handle all of this. Again, there's 4 different plot lines to follow. And in 12 episodes, that's the equivalent of 3 episodes per plot line. And I don't think it's going to work out that way. I think instead it's going to focus mostly on the stuff with, again, Haru and Ikia and all that. And everything else is going to suffer because of it. It just feels like there's too much going on. It feels like they don't really know, what to focus on. And so they're just, not choosing. Their choice is not choosing. They're just focusing on everything. And it feels overstuffed, but also mostly everything besides the Haru and Ikuya stuff is underutilized. Except in this episode where it's suddenly we have just a Reen episode where it's all Reen all the time. Also Ikiya's brother. And it still connects to the Ikia stuff. It's just, it's not a pacing issue per se. It's more of how the series, the episode is formatted. And how the specific plot lines are focused on. It's disappointing. Because, as I've stated before, I really, really loved this show. Not as one of my favorites or anything. But it surprised me by how much I enjoyed it. And that's always a positive. When something can surprise you positively like that. That's just always something great to see and to witness. But unfortunately, this isn't really living up to the first 2 seasons so far. And I know I'm only 3 episodes in. I understand that. But you also have to account the number of episodes in relation to the number of total episodes in the season. the 3 episode rule is usually a thing for a lot of people. Um, but there's also plenty of people who go by a rule where it's like, oh, for a single core series, 3 episodes. For a double core series, 6 episodes. For a longer running series, 10 episodes. Stuff like that. Where it's like they'll have different episode numbers depending on how long the series is. And it's like, okay, you give it that many episodes. If it's not for you after that, then drop it. But at least give it that many episodes. And I've stated in the past how I think that idea is like a little too constricting because it's very much a series by series basis. Some shows you can get the entire vibe of in the first 10 minutes of episode 1. And you can tell within that time if you're going to like the series or not. But then there's also some shows where you need to watch more than 10 episodes to really get a vibe for it, especially longer series. 10 episodes may not be enough. Obviously, for a 12-episode show, that's not really applicable, but you get the point. It's different depending on the series. And especially depending on the show's run episode count. Because when a show that has less episodes is going to put more into each episode to make it, hook you in more. When they have more episodes to work with, they're more likely to have a lot of free space to dick around a little bit. So, like if you find like a series that has like 6 to 8 episodes or so, like, I don't know, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, for example, they're going to make the most out of their time compared to a series that has hundreds of episodes. Because they have to. They don't have as much free range to mess around. They have to get to the point. And yeah, it's just, this is a series that for the first 2 seasons did really well at this, but this season it seems like it's meandering. It's meandering around getting Haru and them back in touch with Ikia. It's refusing to focus on the actual swim club that this series is, supposed to be about. And we're getting just kind of random stuff with Ikia's brother meeting Rin. Like, what the fuck does that actually have to do with anything? Like, he says he's going to Japan now. We could have just met this character as he arrived in Japan. We didn't have to have this stuff with Rin. It adds nothing that I can tell of so far, at least. Like, maybe it'll end up being better once, the season capitalizes on it. But for right now, it's just, I just kind of left asking why. Why did we need this episode? What was the point of it? I feel like it was just kind of a waste of time. But it was still entertaining enough to keep me invested while watching. For now, we're definitely going to be keeping going because I still have faith. After 2 seasons, after a movie that meanwhile was not really well done, but still, after special or 2, it's like I very much want to keep giving this a chance because I have faith in this series. I have faith that it's going to be able to do well. It just needs to, not meander around 4 different plot lines that are probably not going to be all concluded by the end of this. I don't know. Like I said, my opinions may be unpopular. I don't know. I don't know what people think of this season compared to the others, but I just want to make clear that I'm not like hating it. It's just kind of vague disappointment more than anything. Like, if I hated this series, believe me, you would know it. This is not that kind of situation. Either way, Thank you all so much, as always, for tuning in. If you have any thoughts you want to leave down below in the comments, please feel free. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.